Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Latino Theater Company Live. I'm your host, Javi Moreno. I hope that you're able to watch another live session after the madness of last night's. And we'll keep going, bringing you theater into your household. Today, we're going to have a conversation with some of the artists of The Mother of Henry that premiered yesterday, and you can watch it on demand from yesterday all the way to October 8th, 2020. Until October 8th, you can watch it anytime, 9 a.m., 7 p.m. You can pause it, and you can go to the restroom, grab a snack, and come back, and the actors will still be there. Other than that, we also have Just Like Us by Karen Zacarias, directed by Fidel Gomez. That goes all the way until October 4th. Watch it on demand. And as well, Home, written and performed by Nancy Ma. That goes all the way until tomorrow, October 1st at 11:59 p.m. You can watch all of these wonderful programming online, anytime, on demand, for free. In tu casa, from our casas to your casa. YouTube.com/Latino Theater Company, the LATC.com/live. And you can find some of the readings on our Facebook pages, both the LATC and the Latino Theater Company. Coming up in October, we'll have the full Mexican Trilogy, Part 1, Faith, Part 2, Hope, and Part 3, Charity. You can stream those starting Tuesday, October 6th for Part 1. Part 2 will be Tuesday, October 13th. That's Hope. And Part 3, Charity, will stream on Tuesday, October 20th. We'll also have a conversation for all three with the Latino Theater Company. Then in the last week of October, we'll close it up with Dementia, and that will be Tuesday, October 27th. We'll still continue with our conversations, and then we'll come back at the end of the year with our gift to the City of Angels with La Virgen de Guadalupe, Dios y Unseen. But without further ado, let's get this going and invite my fellow castmates, because I was in this too. Let's do this. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
How is everybody doing?
Good, man.
Good.
Hello.
Let's go. Let's go around, starting with Marisela, and then we'll go. Let's introduce ourselves so that everybody knows who we are. Go ahead, Marisela.
All right. My name is Marisela Sagun. I was the assistant stage manager for The Mother of Henry. I'm in LA, I think. And one thing that I miss about working on stage, I think, is making mistakes, as weird as that sounds, and trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So one of the questions that I was asking the participants is, what's one thing that you miss about performing or working on stage? Esperanza?
Hi, I'm Esperanza America. I played La Virgen de Guadalupe and the Mother. I'm in Venice right now, and one thing that I miss, I was just telling my castmates, is just sitting in the audience and watching people rehearse their scenes. That's like my favorite thing to do, and like chismeando with Elia in the seats.
Totally. My turn?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Elia Saldana, and I played Loretta, and I'm also in LA right now. And I think I just miss performing on stage, period. And I miss actually like seeing a lot of people sitting like all next to each other, and without fear. Without fearing for our safety or anything. That was a long time ago that we were able to do that.
Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Robert Revell. I played the Angel, based in Los Angeles. The thing I miss most about live theater, specifically this production, is to cross from stage right to stage left or vice versa. There was a tunnel, and it's this like cylindrical tunnel that you walk through, and I'd always have my guitar on me, and I would like just walk through and sing and play guitar and listen to like the reverb in that tunnel. And I miss that. Maybe I could probably sneak in the theater and go under there, but that was just a nice like calming ritual I had.
And like canvas outfit and large angel wings.
Exactly. So as I was walking down, like both my wings will be basically touching the sides, and if anybody had to get by, it was like, well, we just gotta wait for this guy. Walking in.
Or if Maricela needed to find you, there would be like a little
little trail of feathers.
Feather.
Exactly.
Cheryl.
I'm Cheryl Umanya Bonilla, and I'm in Glassell Park. And I'm not sure where to look into this camera or to people, but I think I'm going to look at you, friends. What I miss about theater is just being immersed in a story. You know, when you get that the play, and then you're like, okay, time to research, time to watch stuff, and you're just living in this story for that period of time. And I miss dressing up, going out with a friend, going to the theater, the lights go down, and you're in the audience. I love being on stage, and I love being in the audience and watching people that close up. So I miss going to the theater just as much as well.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Javi Moreno. I'm the host of Latino Theater Company Live. And for Mother of Henry, I played Manny. One thing that
the
I
hippie.
missed, and the hippie. When I was doing the credits, I was like, oh, that's right, the hippie organizer with some tight pants. One of the things that I miss, it's I recently did a production through SAG, and a lot of the production members had to be tested, and they had to go to a physical, like a theater. But each one had to be like, when they weren't working, had to be in like a little cubicle and like stay there. And I was like, well, that's good that I had to do my home, because I would have been fired. Because that's, I think, like chismeando, like backstage. It's not only like people think we're on our phones. Some of us are, but it's more of just like talking about what are we eating tomorrow? Oh my God, look at my outfit, and everything of life. I've loved it ever since I was backstage in like middle school and high school productions. Like I love the tech and the background process. That's and the audience. This conversation is about the Mother of Henry, which for those who watched our production, it was a new play by Evelina Fernandez. It was part of our original reading series back in 2018, and we premiered it last spring in 2019 at the Los Angeles Theater Center. And right now it's playing. It premiered yesterday at 7 o'clock, and it runs all the way into October 8th. You can watch it anytime. For those that remember or saw the production yesterday, you might have recognized that we are not your Latino Theater Company members. We're the next generation. This was, I don't know if one of us remembers or knows, maybe SB, but this was the first production that had no Latino Theater Company member in the performance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is it's unique. I mean, they were stressed. I mean, it was still written by Evelina, still directed by Jose Luis, choreography and movement by Yervini Lucero, and we had the entire company still.
And Sal still gave me acting notes.
Sal still gave you notes?
I'm in trouble for saying this, but they were helicopter parenting a little bit. It's a total joke. I have to say that. Total joke.
No, it's not go. I think so. Let's talk about that. I mean, what does it feel like? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I know me, I watched, I watched them growing up. I saw productions growing up. It's what inspired me to do what I do. What was it like to sort of be in this play, The Mother of Henry? I think we played very different roles that we've played in the past. We were like adult roles. I usually play like teenagers and stuff like that. But how does it feel like to be in these, like, to step into the shoes of this historic theater company? I was gonna say Latino, but it's American theater company all across it's known. What does that feel like? And this is to anybody, whoever wants to answer first.
I think for me, it was an interesting experience because since I've done so many shows with the company before, they have their shorthand of how they work, and they're really easy to rely on just because they're all so talented, you know? So if you're in a show with them and, you know, something goes wrong, you know, Jeff's gonna go get a prop that you forgot. If it didn't get on stage, Jeff is gonna get it, or like Sal's gonna cover for you if you forgot a line, you know? And I think luckily I've worked with I worked with Elia, Javi, and Cheryl before, so I think we have our own kind of ways of relying on each other that's different from the company. So at least we felt safe within our group of actors, and it's probably a new way of how to rely on each other, and something that we're going to build the more we do more shows.
Right. Anyone else?
For me, you know, anytime I get to work with the Latino Theater Company is like just so exciting for me. And I always get butterflies in my stomach every time, even though, you know, Jose Luis has been my professor and I've known them for so long and I have such love for them. This is my son. This is my son Emiliano now.
Oh, there's another one coming.
Another one. Thank you so much.
We're live.
It's like live theater. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen at the
I always get butterflies in my stomach because I respect them so much, and they're such pros, each and every one of them. And they're so passionate. I mean, Latino Theater Company is pure passion. And we're going to say bye to my children. Bye. Get over. Bye. Don't be surprised if a Labrador comes in. But I was saying that this production, it was weird. You know, they were directing us, they were guiding us. And you want to do your best and meet their expectations and more, you know? So it was being in the Mother of Henry for me has been one of the most amazing theater experiences for me. I mean, and La Virgen is amazing too, but just a great experience for me.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think when you start doing theater in any city, I think you start hearing a lot about, like, you have to find your tribe, you know, that you like to do, that you like to make theater with. And I think that, you know, we're finding that, like, in the same way that maybe I was talking to Jeff recently. He was telling me about, like, when the Latino Theater Company started and, like, how they started out and everything. And I feel like that's kind of what maybe we're going through right now, as you know, of like, okay, oh wow, okay, now I've done a play with SB, and I've done a play with Cheryl and Javi and Robert, and then now we do another one, and you know, a third one, and it's like we're becoming like this tribe of like-minded artists, and like we know our weaknesses and we know our strengths. And I think the most important thing though is like we know what we love about theater. Like we know why, we know like the kind of theater that we love to do, and we're there for each other, and we genuinely love working with each other. And I think that's really special. I think, you know, it's like it's one level of just like, oh, I get to do what I love for a living, but then to get to do it with the people that you love over and over again, that's like another added layer, I think.
Yeah. Nice. I think Elia and I have worked together for like consistently for the last 6 years. That we, you know, some people like you know, in the Latino Theater Company, they give each other notes, you know, like they're good, because they're comfortable with each other, you know, and it's nobody gets offended. And I think Elia and I have also gotten there, you know, like I'm sure with other actors that don't know us, they see us giving each other notes or like, oh, maybe in this part you should try this or whatever, you know, but like we don't get offended, and it's just the way we work. And like if Elia ever tells me something, I know that it's just to like make the show as good as we want it to be, you know? It's nothing personal. We always want the same outcome. We always want the show to be great. And I really appreciate that. You know, I don't want to have to like tiptoe around my fellow castmates because I'm scared they're going to be offended, which, you know, I don't have to do that with the people that I got to work with in this show.
Right. Robert, you took on multiple hats for this show, but was it your first theater production or no?
It was my first theater production, and
wow.
So it differed massively from what I usually do, especially playing the angel, because I'm usually playing the devil's music. And so it was really like, it was interesting to be just sweet and lovely and vulnerable, you know? And that
is that what you think you were?
On the inside, at least. And then, so that was, so I would be there listening to La Virgen sing these beautiful songs. And I'm like, almost every time, like starting to like tear up a little bit. And I'm just like, okay, I can't like cry and move my shoulders because I have these 6-foot wings. They're just going to be shaking around and be so distracting for everybody. I guess now's as good a time as any. I have a huge crush on Esperanza America. And
wow.
I thought I'll just drop that bombshell right here.
Whoa, this is breaking news right now. Wow.
No, like they loved saying that like in every single Q&A that we had after one of our shows, like, Mother of Henry, it was like, oh, by the way, so the angel is engaged to the La Virgen.
Yeah, exactly.
And Manny and Loretta are married.
Manny and Loretta. I remember you talking about, you know, it was also an experience to be like backstage, like watching like all of us, how we prep.
That's one of my favorite ones to say, but like, I hope it's not annoying, but it was interesting to watch because all of the actors on stage had just years and years and years of experience. And I've seen a lot of you in plays before, and I've seen your work, and I'm just like, you know, blown away, and like, I was like there to learn, and I wanted to learn everything I could from everybody. And I see this incredible skill and confidence and like perfect execution every single time, right? But then when I'm backstage, I get to see the backstage prep, you know, like the butterflies or the nerves or something like that. And my favorite thing was to watch Javi back there untying his shoes, tying them again, like really tight. Like I thought he was gonna break them. And then he'd untie him again, tie him, tuck his shirt in, like pull it out, tuck it in again, straighten his tie completely on. He would basically get into costume like 6 times. And then as soon as we heard his cue line, he's just bam, out. And so I was just like, wow, this guy who I've seen, you know, at indie shakes in front of like 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 people, just like nailing it, has this really neurotic, like, you know, thing that looks like maybe he has butterflies. And I was like, cool. It gives me confidence to like not be worried about being worried, you know. Right. So it made me feel, you know, really at home and comfortable.
And you know, it's interesting. The reason why I brought it up is because I was recently just talking to someone. That anxiety came with me in life, in like this live platform. Like I do that. Like I have to check that the buttons are working. That I'm like, and so I'm here alone. So I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm able to figure out. I don't know where Elliot went. But Marisela, can you talk a bit about your experience? Was this your second production working with us, or?
Honestly, I can't remember. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was the second one because I did Desert Rats, and then I did Mother of Henry. I think. Yeah, it was really weird because it was my first show where I was actually getting a paycheck, and my parents were like, "Oh, maybe you can do this. You know, maybe you should just keep doing this." But for me, I was like, "It is what it is," you know, like. So yeah, but it was also the first show in which I worked with like a bigger cast because Desert Rats was 3, and all the other shows were like 2 people. So this was the first show that I worked with people with multiple actors, multiple costumes, multiple places, multiple things that I had to do. I had to help people with quick changes. I had to make sandwiches on my downtime. I had to, move a wheelchair. I had to tuck in the mother, like tuck her into the wheelchair. It was just, and honestly, I was kind of worried of having to do all those things. Of course, when you first start a show, you're kind of like, how am I going to remember all these things without writing them down? Right. But like, I don't know, it just kind of becomes muscle memory. And I think that's so amazing. Like, my body kind of just did it. Like, okay, I put Cheryl in this dress, and now I go push Esperanza. And if she falls while I push her, I gotta keep going. Like, she'll just sit up. Like, it was just, yeah.
But we would have never been able to do the show without Marisela.
There's no way.
The quick changes in the show were so fast. Yeah. I had one scene where I was La Virgen, and then I was the mom, and then the next scene I had to get out of the wheelchair, take off the blanket, and then come out as La Virgen. And without Marisela, we wouldn't have been able to do it.
I literally had to unwrap her like a burrito. Like, I just had to pull her feet, and she would just go like this, like a cartoon, and walk up the stairs. Yeah, it was the craziest thing.
But Marisela, can you tell us a little bit about how you started to work with the company?
Yeah, so I did a little bit of theater in high school. Not a little bit, it was actually majority of my time I would be in the theater, but Angie came to Garfield High School, and she talked about LATC's education program, which is the PAW program and conservatory. I did the PAW program first, so it's like the whole backstage aspect, and then I did the conservatory just because, like, I'm not an actor, and I don't see myself being an actor. I think that that's a job for specific people, because to me, it just, I don't know.
What does that mean, Marisa?
I
mute her. Somebody mute her.
Yeah.
But
I have the power, not like Chris Wallace.
No, not specific in a bad way. Like, I don't think the energy that you guys need and use to be a completely different person. To me, that is not only for myself, like, I would get so tired of doing it just one time. I don't know how you guys can do it for months and sometimes 2 times in a day. I get tired. I would be so exhausted. But I did the PAW program, and I did conservatory, which I stage managed the conservatory, and I acted on it too. So I was like in the booth, and I was like calling the show. I thought I was such a badass, but it was literally the easiest show ever. When I think back to it, I'm like, wow, that was really like. And then I ran through the tunnel and took off my headset while I was running through the tunnel, putting on my chola earrings because I played a chola. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah. I put on my little Subway hat because I played a
chola from Subway.
Yeah, a chola from Subway.
I mean.
And people were like, "You're so good," and telling me that I got casted as myself. I was like, thanks. But yeah, that's how I started. And
it was was it through Paul and the conservatory that you found stage managing, or was there, through Paul, for those that don't know, Paul is our Play at Work program at the Latino Theater Company, where they shadow designers, stage managers, our technical, wonderful technical team. Was there any other job that interests you, or was it right away stage management?
Well, I did stage management in high school a little bit without even knowing that it was a job. Like,
Right.
I noticed someone needed to write down blocking. I noticed without even knowing that blocking was a word. I would write down like whole sentences, like this person is gonna walk over without knowing like the short ways to do it. Garfield actually has a light board. So I actually started doing lighting, which I really loved, which is why I decided to do the pop program. But I didn't know that there was cues. Actually, the first show that I ever did with Garfield, I would turn on individual lights and like just turn on channels. Like, okay, I want this light to turn on. So I would punch it in. And then for the next cue, I would punch in the second light. It was awful. It was so awful. But yeah, so, and then Noah helped out a lot. I think Angie got Noah to go to Garfield and help us out with the show. So when I hung out, I was really shocked. When I found out his age, I was like, what? But yeah, I don't know if I can say it. I don't want to, you know.
Sure, this is a show about the mother of Henry, not just reveal everybody's secrets. It's like actors are some kind of people, and we could have come to this talk. But I think one of the cool things that's really cool is that just like Noah, I remember Noah came in as an intern. I remember I was there to witness when Noah Gamboa. I was there to witness. He was a high school student. I was there to witness when he got his first paycheck ever in his life, and it was amazing. He bought a lot of candy, not because the kid, but he just loves candy, which is really cool. He got to share it with us. But part of that is that we have an amazing technical team. That it's not just like this job that I have to go into the job, but along the process, even myself as an actor have learned so much watching them and alongside them. And with Marisela, stage management, but it's become a paid job, and it's also has taken you outside of the LATC into other projects, right? Which is really cool.
Yeah, I got to do a musical. I was a ASM for a musical, and it was my first musical ever. And then I got to actually go on tour with Cheryl on this other show, and I was in Texas before COVID. So yeah, if you would have asked me if you would have told me in high school, you're gonna be doing this as a job, you're gonna be paid, and you're gonna be having an awesome time, I would have told you, shut up, man. Like, you're lying. Like, I don't believe you, man. Like, like, don't play me like that. Yeah. So, yeah. And it would have never been for LETC, honestly. Because I'm actually back in college right now because I was like, I have to do something with my time, you know? So, and I'm taking a stage management class, and I just want to tell all these students, like, do the pop program, do the conservatory. Like, it's crazy to see they didn't have those opportunities. And I would be in the same position if it weren't for, like, LETC's education program, you know? Yeah. So.
And
definitely. Go ahead. Yeah. Sure.
I've watched Marisela, like, just grow and just own her like the way she leads and own her power as a stage manager, and just amazing what she has the professional has become. Really, has been so cool to watch, Marisela.
Thank you.
And shout out also to Michelle Garcia, who was also backstage with us, who was also part of Paul, also a Garfield alumni, and also was part of the conservatory, and has also taken part of the family. I think one of the cool things also, I think for all of us here too, as actors, is that we were in these same shoes, right? We got this opportunity to be, I remember going to the LATC when I was in middle school to watch a play, Romeo and Juliet, that another theater company. So to be in that space, to be in a show, and then as we were talking about, to step into these roles, that it wasn't the, like, you know, we watched Sal, we watched Jeff, Lucy, Evelina in these roles, but it felt so much like, you know, I was in the excuse me, the trilogy La Olla, and we did all the, you know, movement and stuff like that, and this was one of those shows where it was like, you know, it's like, oh, they're not gonna do it because they're not in this show, right? Like, it's up to us. And so there was a lot of stuff, you know, it's the movement, right? We had, for those that watch the show, we have these desks that move around, and it's you know, you're like working these things, and you're like, oh yeah, Sal, I'm gonna watch Sal in this show, and maybe I'll copy what he's doing, or I'll see how he's moving, or someone else. And you didn't have that, so it was just kind of like, no, we had to step up and you know, say, okay, we got it. I mean, there's so many elements that get included. Some people just read the play, then there's the music, and then there's we've talked a lot about this throughout the progression of the shows that we've seen throughout our archival screenings, how more and more movement, and now more music. I mean, these Robert, how many guitars did you have in the show?
For this show, it
Two
was
or one?
Only two, actually. I had one
two.
that was like a light brown with like beautiful curly engraved on it, and the other one was the same model, but it was red and burned. So it was like, you know, that duality in there.
Yeah. I mean, and so, you know, playing on stage, we had that in Solitude, right? We had a cello. So there's like, you know, it's that new generation. Did any of you get to, I mean, we're busy probably watching, but any of you get the chance to watch some other Henry online, or are going to?
I watched some of it today.
Yeah.
It looks,
what was that like?
It's interesting because you don't know what it looked like. The projections are amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I saw. And if Evelina or Jose Luis, or if any of you, did we win? I think we won for best projection somewhere, no? Or we were nominated for sure.
I think so.
But,
we were sure nominated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I
really...
think it was Yoon, amazing projections, right? Yeah,
Yoon,
amazing projections. Yeah, actually a good question from our vecino, way over in
Vecino.
For those of us who haven't seen Mother Henry, what can we expect?
Ask Cheryl that question. We might have different
Cheryl, what? Cheryl, what?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
I'll give it to you like this. It's Juan Luis Acevedo, our vecino. He was in our production of Destiny of Desire over in Cincinnati and became part of the familia. But he's actually watched all the productions, right, that online. But what's something that's different, I guess, or what can he expect in the Mother of Henry? That's, you know.
Well, to SV's point, you know, I was in like a tragedy, and they were like in a light musical.
Yeah.
Even like backstage leading up to it, it was like very painful for me. But it's you know, Evelina is a master at you know, sprinkling comedy and light when there's these horrible dark moments, real moments. She's a master at that, and at bringing the audience in and breaking the tension when it's needed. It's just amazing, her writing. So you can expect hard moments because it's based on the Vietnam War, and you know, the mother of Henry, a soldier, and so there's a lot of pain and politics. It's an Evelina Fernandez, you know, Latino theater company play. So if you know that you'll see some dancing, you see some magic, and you see some type of amazing force that illuminates everything. Our beautiful Virgen and Robert, you know, the angel, and comedy with Loretta, you know, and so you're gonna expect all that, and that's what's so great about their shows. That
You forgot me.
I'm sorry. Yes. Oh my God, you're one of my favorite actors.
Choking on a sandwich, but happy.
I'm saying it right now. Javi is one of my favorite actors. I'm telling you. But that's what you can expect. So it's a beautiful play. It really is.
I would just say, vecino, you can expect more of the amazing acting that you've grown to love. and also just like more of Javi being an asshole and me making dick jokes. So
Dude, we are live.
Oh,
That's what should have happened yesterday. You know, it was really interesting. I remember, I'm sure you all can. We had high school students, you know, attend our show. We had people that were Vietnam vets, people that were protesting during Vietnam, and you know, a lot of people talked about, you know, like everything that was going on in that time. It's very powerful. For me, one of the ways that I connected with it was, you know, like I grew up in a lot of my friends went to the Iraq War. And that's like, you know, and losing friends through that, you know, it's like that was like the same thing. And I'm from Boyle Heights, where the play takes place, and the Sears building, which if you haven't, you can Google search it right now, the Sears building in Boyle Heights, because it's actually coming to a close in the next couple of months, maybe. It's the last one of the stronghold Sears stores. It's still there. And it's battled its year since the 1920s. And at the time, it was the only place, still maybe the only place right now where people in the East Side community can go buy clothes. And, you know, this play takes you through that time. But, you know, more than that, it's the work. What other stories do you have? I mean, Maricela, whoever, was talking about me choking on a sandwich.
Yeah, that was
classic.
Dude, I thought I looked at Michelle and I was like, he's choking. And Michelle goes, what? He's like, listen, he's choking. So we peek out, we just see how we go, like just like really trying to not die. I was like, God.
I watched, that was one of the scenes I watched. I was fast forwarding through my scenes, and I wanted to watch it, and it's like, it's pretty funny because it's like, you know, I'm looking at these other, and people will see, like, it's funny. I felt like, as you'll see the Mexican Trilogy, but it feels like Charlie, the character that I play in Faith, like grown up, you know. And it's in that choking scene. We were in a lunch break, but Maricela would make these the show that we're talking about, these peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I don't know, was it water in the canister? Right, I think it was water.
Yeah,
but they were
water.
like they were like half a sandwich, half of a half. And that morning we did this really early 9 o'clock in the morning matinee for a high school student. I was starving. I did not have breakfast. And I said, okay, what I'm while Cheryl and Gary are talking, I'm going to Herb. I'm going to munch on this PB&J. And I don't know, I think he forgot his line, or he like went through it quick, that my line was next. I was like, it was bad.
I initially thought that I had put too much peanut butter. So I felt bad. I was like, did I put too much peanut butter? Or like, because there wasn't jelly that day. We had run out of jelly. So the SM just told me, just put peanut butter. And I was like, okay. So I remember not putting a lot, but I was like, dang, like I probably killed Javi. Like that's
we ate a lot of food in this play.
Yes.
Yeah.
We ate a lot of food.
Man, you guys are lucky. We were starving up there.
Oh, man.
Poor
It
me.
wasn't that good. It wasn't
Like I think one of the actresses was supposed to put food in my plate, and some days she would forget. So some days I wouldn't get to eat.
Dude, we had to heat that up every single show. Heat it up.
There was
I had to make rice,
beans,
tortillas. Like it was like I was running a restaurant back there.
I was like, "Where's the mole, Maricela?"
And Cheryl was so method that she actually wanted to eat the gefilte fish every single night, right? You're like, no, I'm not gonna pretend. I'm gonna eat the gefilte fish.
Just a little bit.
That's
and me and Esther are up in the grotto, just like, yep, smells like gefilte fish up here.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things was it happened multiple times. Javi had an exit where he had to go either backstage, he had to go backstage, but he would always walk off stage. And in order to get backstage, he had to cross over every time. And Robert and I would be backstage like, come over here, your exit is over here. And so he'd casually just like walk across. Right. And then another one is when, we're always hard on ourselves. I had one where I felt like I didn't do well, and it was intermission, and I like yelled the F word off stage, and my mic was still on. And I don't know who heard it. Nobody, I don't. Yeah, and then and then somebody ran downstairs and was like, Esperanza, your mic is still on. Your mic is still on.
Yeah. I'm over here cracking up because I had one with Maricela. So at the end of the show, we're putting this like they had like this like 100-foot Christmas tree that they had me bring out. It was like about to like flop. And so behind the curtain that people will see, there's a connection. It has to connect. And so Maricela would be there with the extension, with the plug like dangling like outside. And so this time I usually would walk out the stage. But this time I was gonna go because I had to like plug it in. It wasn't plugging in. And I had to go under the curtain. So I thought, like, I just went in, but I really thought that I was going to run in. So when I walked in, she was against the wall, like, and I just walked in, like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I thought you were going to run in. So she's like, oh. That's great. It's the things that it's like I've had crazy I've had crazy like changing scenes in that tunnel that Robert was mentioning, like you have to run and like crazy changing and just like it's dark, you can't see backstage, things fall. We had to do this like huge protest scene. I had to like wrap these things.
Instead of that entire scene. You set up like every single prop on stage.
You should have seen Javi backstage folding them. Right. Like he took his time. I was like, Javi, we don't have that much time. I was like, dude,
folding, unfolding, refolding, unfolding.
Yeah, it was literally that because those things you had to like clip them on to like 50 hanging things. It was like a sailboat, they had to like go on perfectly. I thought one day I was gonna be like get hooked on it's gonna take me out. I'm gonna be another angel on the show.
No. Yeah.
See how much fun we were having, Cheryl?
Yeah, we were having a great time.
Cheryl is over there like
crying
watching World War II videos on her phone.
Just the scariest, most heartbreaking stuff.
Yeah, it was a different thing for me.
Laughing.
But in a great way, it's just I had to live in it to be able to get to to get to those. So I couldn't be like, hey, let's have some peanut butter and jelly. And then like, I couldn't, not for this one. Like,
my son is dead? What?
Yeah. I had to carry something dark from about an hour before starting from home. Once I got in my car, then it started, until I got off. And every day, not in the stomach after the show, because emotions, they show up in your body, I'm sure a lot of emotions are showing up in our bodies right now after yesterday.
Yeah.
It just shows up. And like they say, your body doesn't know that you're acting or that you're lying. Your body doesn't know, sometimes you break out or sometimes it's just your body doesn't know that you're just not.
You know what I do wonder though, Cheryl? Like if someone's pregnant, like, does the baby know that the mom is acting like
the baby's inside freaking out?
Like, try not to do like a crazy, like tragic scene because the baby might be like, "What? I'm out."
It's connected. Yeah. You know, there's an amazing article, and I think in Time a while back talking about how your body is so connected in conception, like right away. You know, what you're feeling, what you're doing, all of it informs the cells, the forming, all of that. So it's definitely true, I believe.
It's
Definitely.
a trip.
Yeah. So if anybody's
So just
pregnant at this time,
Yeah.
not pointing any fingers, but
Okay.
Don't do any tragic
I'm
shit.
pregnant.
Don't do any
I'll let
tragic
the
show.
cat out of the
Don't
bag.
watch anything dramatic. Don't think about anything dramatic. Just chill.
Don't
Yeah.
be dramatic.
What is show just got serious, yeah. What is something that you're working right now? Have you all been working? Have you been doing? I know Elia, SB, Robert, and myself were in Sleep with the Angels, Evelina's new play. What else is coming up, or have you been doing anything online, or what's been going on? What's next?
I just
SB was like smiling.
I just wrote and directed my first short film, and
Oh,
going to be
nice.
in the process of editing and doing all of that. I've been saying for years, I'm so annoying. I'm just like, how hard could it be? How hard could it be? Oh, come on. You just like point the camera right there, whatever. So now I got to put my money where my mouth is and see if it turns out good.
I've been doing a bunch of voiceover, and Robert and I were working on a song.
Yeah.
It's almost ready.
Well, I went back to school, like I mentioned earlier.
Nice.
So I'm just trying to get a
Online?
certificate. Yeah, online at ELAC. So I'm trying to just get a certificate of achievement for stage management. But I've also, like Robert, been saving my money, being that annoying person, because I really want to start producing. No, like, it gets
Then she
annoying
just
because
straight up called me annoying, and nobody said anything, and nobody's got my back.
everybody's like,
Everyone's like,
Everyone's
yeah.
like,
yeah.
it
No,
is
because
annoying.
people ask me, like, let's go out, and you're like, trying to save money. But anyways, I'm trying
Also
to.
COVID.
Yeah, COVID. Also, a little small factor. Produced one of Michelle Garcia's displays. We've been talking about it since we were graduates from high school, and I've always told her, like, let's do it. Like, let's save our money and produce a play. How hard can it be? How hard can it be to produce a play?
Exactly.
So yeah.
Well, if you're looking for actors, I mean,
Yeah.
we're
We're all out of work.
We're all out of work.
So yeah.
Cheryl, that's cool. That's great. Michelle, who we were talking about, was also an intern. She's helping us a lot in our current productions as well. She was actually the stage manager for Just Like Us, but she's also a playwright and goes to Occidental College. That's really cool. I'm looking do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
She
you can do it right
won an
now.
award.
You can have a reading.
She won an award for one of her plays in the I forgot
That's
what
right,
theater. At
the Blank Theater, no?
Yeah, at the Blank Theater.
Wow.
That's really cool. Cheryl, what have you been working on?
Well, I've since become an elementary school teacher for fourth grade
What?
and second grade.
Right.
That's why
Oh,
my children-
right.
I don't know if you know, I have children. I have two boys. I don't know if you know.
No. Can't tell. I think it's a virtual screen.
So yes, doing that, working on patience and working on slowing down and one thing at a time, because when you're at home so much, the anxiety can grow, and kids, Labradors, and all kinds of people, it's like tough. So I've been working a lot on the work, on the self and family. And I've been really lucky to do some voiceover as well, and doing a project that I know SB is a part of as well. I don't know are you a part of it too, Javi? For Center Theater Group, we're going to do some.
Oh, a different play, but yes.
Yeah, we're doing some readings for that, so really excited about that. For Luis Alfaro, which I adore his work. he's amazing. And I'm going at the end of October to film something in Guadalajara too.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's what's been going on. And then mommy full blast, like mommying it up.
Full time.
Yes.
Zoom.
Yep.
Well, if that's amazing. I'm here. I'm doing. I think I'm gonna run against myself in multiple categories in the Zoomy Awards. Producer, host of the year, actor. It's like everything. Graphic design. I'm on screen 24/7. But continuing all the way through the end of the year with until we do La Virgen. But if anybody, we're coming up in the last couple of minutes. We did the full hour, y'all. We had so much to talk about.
And Espy, did Espy talk about her?
Yeah, what's Esperanza
Oh,
doing?
Espy?
My crush.
Oh, what are you doing, Espy?
I'm just
Can you-
hanging out. I mean,
What?
I'm also working on something with Cheryl
With Robert?
the CTG thing. Robert and I
You're in Rock.
we have
Collaborated on something.
a collaboration that will come out in December.
Oh, an album.
Is it a play or is it an album?
It's
Yeah, we've been
it's
working on an album for
avant-garde-
years.
It's kind of like a living, breathing concept, living, breathing kind of thing. We're working on it. It's in flux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
What is a It's a new type of virtual.
Well, yeah, it's like a real life.
But
Has,
really just calling
uh,
the unemployment office every day, trying to get through.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
Maybe they're watching.
EDD,
But, yeah, we're
call
coming-
me.
Just a reminder for all of you watching that you can watch The Mother of Henry on demand for free right now, all the way. You can watch it at the end of this programming here. You can watch it. We run all the way until the October 8th. You can watch it anytime until October 8th on demand. Watch it via youtube.com/Latino Theater Company or the latc.org live. And we also have Home, which ends tomorrow, October 1st, and Just Like Us, which goes all the way until October 4th, written by Karen Zacarias, directed by Fidel Gomez, and Home is written and performed by Nancy Ma, directed by Jeffrey Rivas. And coming up, we have the Mexican Trilogy, the full trilogy. You're going to see it in 3 separate nights on demand, going for 10 days. And then at the end of October, we have Dementia. And then we'll wrap up our year with La Virgen de Guadalupe, Dios in Antin. More than that. Thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to be on stage or in the theater seats of any theater and chismeando about everything in the world.
And hugging each other.
Thank you so much. And what?
Bye,
And
everybody.
hugging each other.
Oh, and hugging each other and everything else. Thank you so much. What are you doing?
Bye.
This is
Bye.